Most men think women are easy to read when it comes to attraction. That if she likes you, she'll just smile, flirt, and make it obvious. The reality, many women are experts at hiding their feelings. And not because they don't want you to know, but because showing it openly can make them feel vulnerable, judged, or even rejected. That's what we're diving into today. The subtle, sometimes frustrating, but always revealing sincere women likes you and is trying not to show it. If you can learn to spot these seasons, you'll understand her better than she understands herself. Women are masters of indirect communication. They might avoid telling you directly how they feel, but their body language, their tone, and even their accidental behaviors can give them away. The problem is most guys miss these clues completely. They either don't notice them at all or they misinterpret them as disinterest. That's how opportunities get lost. Now, this is where it gets a little controversial. Women often want you to notice even when they're pretending they don't. Think about that for a second. They'll say they're just being friendly, but the little things they do tell another story. And if you can't read between the lines, you'll never know the truth. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact signs that show she's interested. Even if she's putting on her best poker face, you'll learn to decode the way she looks at you, how she speaks to you, the way she acts around you, and small details that scream attraction without her ever saying a word. By themed. You'll never second guess yourself again. You'll be able to spot genuine interest even when she's trying her hardest to hide it. And that's a skill that changes everything. So, let's get into it. She avoids you, but can't stop looking gone. She avoids you but can't stop looking. This is one of the most confusing and often misunderstood signs a woman likes you, but is trying to hide it. To most men, it feels contradictory. If she likes me, why would she avoid me? The truth is, attraction doesn't always show up as bold, fearless interaction. Sometimes it hides behind hesitation, distance, and stolen glances. When a woman is drawn to you, but doesn't want you or anyone else to notice, she'll often create space between you. She might step away when you enter the room, pretend to be busy when you approach, or keep her body turned slightly away in conversation. At first glance, you think she's not interested at all. But here's where the real giveaway comes in. Even while she's avoiding you, she can't help but look. You'll notice her eyes finding you from across the room. Maybe it's quick, just a fraction of a second before she looks away. Maybe it's a little longer, as if she's caught in the act and suddenly remembers she's supposed to be hiding something. Women know the eyes can reveal too much. So, when they're trying to mask attraction, they'll break eye contact quickly, look down, or focus on something else. But it's already too late. You've caught that spark. Why does she do this? It's usually a mix of self-protection and uncertainty. Maybe she's shy, maybe she doesn't know if you like her back, maybe she has a reputation to protect, or she's in a situation where showing interest feels risky. Whatever the reason, the safest way for her to deal with the pull she feels is to act like she's not interested while secretly feeding her curiosity. Why? By watching you from a distance, pay attention to the timing of these glances. If you notice her eyes flick toward you more than once in a short span of time, it's not random. If she's always aware of where you are in a room, even if she's pretending not to notice, it's not coincidence. And if she suddenly shifts her attention away the moment you look back, that's often a dead giveaway she's hiding her real feelings. Here's Thaki. Don't mistake her avoidance for rejection. Most guys see a woman creating distance and immediately back off for good. But when it's paired with repeated, almost involuntary glances, it's usually a sign of concealed attraction. She wants to look. She wants to know what you're doing. She just don't want you to know. No, she wants that. When you learn to read this subtlety of avoidance and curiosity, you start to see what's really happening beneath the surface. She's not pushing you away because she's uninterested. She's holding back because the feelings are stronger than she wants to admit. Playful insults that feel like flirting too. Playful insults that feel like flirting. In everyday life, Most of us have experienced a strange moment where Simeon teases us in a way that feels lighthearted, but also strangely personal. With women, this can be a subtle but powerful way of showing interest while keeping her true feelings under wraps. It's a form of attraction wrapped in humor, and it plays out more often than you think. Imagine this. You're at work and you've just told a joke during a team meeting. Later, when you're passing by her desk, she smirks and says, "Whoa, you think you're a comedian now?" On the surface, it's age up, but the smile, the tone, and the way she lingers just long enough to see your reaction tell you there's more going on. Or maybe you're at the gym struggling with your last set, and she walks by saying, "Careful, don't hurt yourself, tough guy." She could have just kept walking without saying a word, but instead she makes a playful comment that puts you on her radar and puts her on yours. The beauty of playful insults is that they give her a safe space. She can engage with you, test your sense of humor, and create a little spark without openly admitting attraction. If you respond well with confidence and a quick wit, she gets a read on how comfortable you are with playful tension. If you take it too seriously or get defensive, she knows you might not be ready for that kind of back and forth. These moments often happen in shared spaces. In the office, when she jokes about your coffee addiction. In class, when she teases you about always arriving right before the bell. In your friend group, when she pokes fun at the way you dance even though she keeps looking at you while you're doing it. What's really happening here is emotional ping pong. She sends out a teasing comment, and she's watching closely to see if you'll send something back. This is her way of creating a playful bond that doesn't feel too vulnerable. It's attraction. Camouflagators. Banter. Now, here's the important part. You have to read the difference between mean-spirited teasing and flirty teasing. Flirty teasing is accompanied by warmth, smiling eyes, a relaxed posture, a tone that invites you to play along. Mean-spirited teasing feels cold, sharp, and dismissive. If she's smiling, holding eye contact, and staying close enough to hear your comeback, she's not pushing you away, she's drawing you in. When you catch this dynamic, lean into it, much your energy, tease her back in a light way, and keep the conversation playful. This turns the moment into a shared inside joke. And that's where attraction starts to deepen. So, next time a woman throws a playful insult your way, don't overthink it. Chances are, she's not just trying to be funny. She's letting you in on the fact that she's noticed you, and she wants you to notice her. Sudden coldness after warm moments. 3. Sudden coldness after warm moments. Few things throw men off more than a woman who's warm and friendly one minute, then distant and cold the next. One moment she's laughing at your jokes, leaning in when you talk, maybe vanishing your arm, and the very next time you see her, she's acting like you're just another face in the crowd. This emotional whiplash can be frustrating, but here's the truth. In many cases, this isn't a sign she's lost interest. It's a sign she's trying harder to hide it. Let's put it into real-life situation. You're at a party and you spend half an hour talking to her. She's smiling, giving you her full attention, and the vibe feels great. Maybe your friends even notice that chemistry. But the next day, you bump into her at a coffee shop, and she barely acknowledges you. It's not because she forgot. It's because she remembers too well. Here's why this happens. When a woman lets her guard down and shows genuine warmth, she sometimes regrets it afterward. Especially if she's been trained to keep her feelings a secret. She replays the moment in her head, worries that she made her interest too obvious, and decides to correct it by creating distance the next time she sees you. It's a way of regaining control over the situation. This pattern also shows up in everyday places. At work, where she's chatty with you in the break room one day, but the next day, she keeps conversation short. At the gym, where she once smiled and asked about your workout, but the next time barely makes eye contact. Among friends, where she laughed at your stories all night, but now acts more reserved when others are around. It's important to remember that this back and forth behavior doesn't necessarily mean she's playing games often. It's internal conflict. She might like you, but feel nervous about what it means if she shows it. She might be unsure about your feelings toward her, or she might be protecting her image in front of certain people. The key for you is not to overreact to the cold moments. If you treat her sudden distance as rejection, you'll close the door before she even decides whether to open it. Instead, stay consistent in your demeanor. If you were confident and warm when she was being friendly, keep that same energy even when she's acting distant. This shows you're stable, not easily rattled, and not dependent on her mood swings for your confidence. In many cases, her cold moments are just her way of buying time, a reset button so she can decide how much of her interest she's willing to reveal. If you can ride out those moments without pulling away or chasing too hard, you'll often find her warmth comes back, sometimes even stronger. Extra attention disguised as helping. Extra attention disguised as helping. One of the sneakiest ways a woman can show interest while pretending not to is giving you extra attention, but disguising it as being helpful. On the surface, it looks like she's just being nice, but underneath, there's usually more going on. The challenge for most men is knowing when it's a genuine sign of attraction and when it's just ordinary kindness. Here's how it plays out in real life. You're at work and she just happens to remind you about a deadline you forgot. She offers to proofread something for you, even though she doesn't do that for anyone else. Or maybe you're in class and she shares her notes without you even asking. Notes shouldn't offer to the guy sitting right next to her. The key here is selective alphaless. If she's making small efforts to make your life easier, but not going out of her way for everyone else, that's a subtle sign she's paying extra attention to you. This shows up outside of work or school, too. At the gym, she suggests a better way to do an exercise you're struggling with in your friend group. She offers to bring you something from the kitchen when she's getting herself a drink. At an event, she tells you about something happening nearby that she thinks you would enjoy. Now, here's where men often get confused. Not every act of kindness means she's into you. Some women are naturally friendly and helpful to everyone. If she's just as attentive with other guys, you're not special in that way. You have better look for patterns. Does she remember small details about your life? Check in on you specifically, or find excuses to help you in ways that keep the interaction going. Another way to tell: look at her body language and tone when she's helping. If she's smiling, making eye contact, and lingering longer than necessary, there's probably more than just politeness behind it. If she's quick, neutral, and moving on without connection, it's likely just friendliness. It's also important not to mistake professional courtesy or basic manners for personal interest in a workplace. Some women may help you because it's part of their job or because they value teamwork. Jumping to conclusions here can lead to awkward misunderstandings. When you spot extra attention disguised as helping, pay attention to consistency and context. Is she creating repeated personal one-on-one interactions under the excuse of helping you? Is she remembering things you've said before and bringing them up later to assist you? These are usually intentional signals wrapped in plausibility. So, don't fall for the trap of thinking every nice gesture means attraction. But also, don't ignore consistent patterns of selective alphaless. The difference between she's just nice and she's interested lies in how often, how personally, and how exclusively she offers that extra attention. Body language that doesn't match her words. 5. Body language that doesn't match your words. One of the most telling signs a woman likes you, but is trying not to show, is when her body betrays her words. She might be saying one thing, but her movements, expressions, and posture are telling a completely different story. And the truth is, no matter how hard someone tries to control what they say, body language often slips through the cracks. Picture this: you're talking to her and she's insisting she's just not that into dating right now. Her words sound certain, but her eyes linger in yours a little too long. She's leaning in slightly, even though there's plenty of space around her. She's playing with her hair, lightly touching her neck, or shifting her weight in a way that faces you directly. That's the silent giveaway. Her body is tuned into you, even when her words are trying to put up a wall. Sometimes it's as subtle as the way she positions herself. Even in group settings, she might angle her body toward you, subconsciously drawing you into her space. Or maybe she mirrors your gestures without realizing it. You cross your arms, and a few seconds later, she does the same. You take a sip off your drink, and she does too. These are unconscious signals of connection and comfort, and they're hard to fake. Another sign is how she reacts to proximity. If you step closer while taking, she doesn't back away. In fact, she might lean in slightly even if her words remain guarded. She could be telling you she's not sure about how she feels, yet her body language is showing goodness, curiosity, and interest. Then there's the micro-expression, thus any flashes of emotion that appear before she has a chance to hide them. Maybe you make a joke, and she smiles instantly only to quickly suppress it and roll her eyes as if it wasn't that funny. That quick burst of genuine reaction reveals more than the controlled expression that follows. Why does this happen? It's because the attraction isn't purely logical. It's instinctive. The conscious mind might decide to hide it, but the subconscious doesn't always get the memo. This is why paying attention to the mismatch between her words and her body language can reveal more than what she's actually saying. But you have to read the situation in context. Some people are naturally warm, physically expressive, or simply comfortable with closeness, so you shouldn't assume every open gesture is romantic interest. The difference is in consistency and timing. If her body language changes specifically around you, if her tone softens, her movements become more open and her attention locks in on you even when her words don't, you're likely seeing the real story. Learning to spot this disconnect is powerful because it lets you see past her verbal filter. She might be saying, "I'm not interested," with her mouth, but her body is quietly saying, "I'm drawn to you and I can't help it." 6. Jealousy. She tries to laugh off. Sometimes, the jealousy she tries to laugh off clearest sign a woman likes you, but is trying not to show it comes in a moment when she feels her position with you being challenged. She might not openly admit her feelings, but the way she reacts when another woman enters the scene can tell you everything. You could be at a casual hangout with friends talking to another woman about something harmless like travel or music. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice her looking over, not glaring, not scowling, but with that subtle sharpness in her gaze that wasn't there before. A few moments later, she strolls over, smiling as if nothing's wrong, and throws a playful comment your way. Maybe she teases you about making new friends so quickly, or says something like, "Wow, you work fast." On the surface, it's all in good humor. She's smiling, her tone is light, and if anyone else heard it, they'd think it was just a joke. But you can feel the edge underneath it. That's the kind of jealousy she'll never openly admit. It's too risky for her because admitting it would mean revealing she has a personal stake in your attention. Instead, she masks it with humor, sarcasm, or a playful tone. The joke becomes her safe way of checking the temperature. Are you going to reassure her with your reaction, or are you going to brush it off? You'll notice this same pattern in other settings. If she sees you chatting with a female coworker a little too comfortably, she might suddenly become more present in that conversation, making subtle remarks that insert herself back into your attention. If you mention another woman's name in conversation, she might make a light comment about how much you seem to know about her. The words are dressed in amusement, but the subtext is curiosity and in some cases a touch of territorial instinct. It's important not to mistake this for hostility. In most cases, it's not about disliking the other woman. It's about feeling a quiet, pang of competition. She's trying to manage that feeling without letting you or anyone else see it for what it is. The key for you is to recognize the difference between playful jealousy that's rooted in attraction and mean-spirited behavior that signals insecurity. If she's laughing, maintaining a light tone, and staying engaged with you rather than shutting down or walking away, she's not trying to push you out. She's trying to pull you back in. When you can spot jealousy wrapped in humor, you'll see just how often a woman's attempts to hide her interest actually reveal it. She might not say, "I like you," but in moments when she fears losing your attention, her actions speak louder than words. Random excuses to be around you. 7. Random excuses to be around you. One of clearest yet most misunderstood things a woman likes you, but is trying it to show it is when she creates opportunities to be near you, but mess them as pure coincidence or necessity. On the surface, it looks harmless. She just happens to show up in the same place at the same time or find a reason to start a conversation that doesn't seem important. But when you pay closer attention, these moments often reveal more than she intends. She might walk over to where you are and ask about something unrelated to you personally, like the status of a work project or the name of a song playing in the background. It could be something she easily could have asked someone else or even looked up herself, but she chooses you. That choice is the point. The question is just a cover for being close to you without openly making it a boo-to. The controversial part. Many women will insist they don't chase men, but these little coincidences are a subtle form of pursuit. It's not the bold, direct approach men might take. It's strategic. She maintains the appearance of being casual while satisfying the pull she feels toward you. This way, she keeps your pride intact while still feeding her attraction. Sometimes it's not even about talking. She might appear in spaces she knows you'll be, like hanging out near the coffee machine when she notices you've stepped away from your desk, or sitting in a spot where you'll pass by. She might linger a little longer in a conversation with someone else just so you'll walk past and see her. To everyone else, it's normal social behavior. To her, it's proximity without confession. This is where many men get confused. They assume that because she's not making overt romantic moves, she's just being friendly or it's all coincidence. But attraction often works in the small details. A woman who truly has no interest in you will not consistently go out of her way to cross paths. These patterns only become visible if you watch over time. Once or twice can be nothing, but repeated accidental encounters are rarely just chance. You also have to be aware that not all proximity means attraction. Some people are naturally sociable or happen to share your schedule. That's why the context matters. If her presence is spared with subtle cues like holding eye contact a little too long, initiating light conversation, or showing visible interest in what you're doing, then it's not just about being in the same space. It's about finding a safe way to be closer without openly declaring it. That Ruth is creating excuses to be around you is often her way of testing few waters. She wants to be close enough to feel the connection, but far enough to if confronted. Once you understand this, you'll realize that some of the random moments in your interactions are anything but random. Conclusion. When a woman likes you but tries to hide it, her actions often speak louder than her words. From avoiding you while stealing glances to playful teasing, sudden distance, subtle help, body language slips, quiet jealousy, and coincidental encounters, the signs rather if you know how to read them. The key is to stay observant without averting every move. Patterns, not isolated moments, reveal the truth. Once you understand these signals, you'll never be left guessing where you stand.